Here we see the Dermocales corentia, or leatherback sea turtle, feeding on its primary food source, the cnidaria. In this case, the Cyanea capitata, or lion mane jellyfish. The sea turtle is drawn to the symmetrical shape and stalk-like tentacles coming from the jellyfish. But can a jellyfish resemble another everyday item that we see?
I'm filming. You can go for it, Mr. Surgeon.
This turtle has been rescued by researchers led by Nathan Robinson while doing field studies of marine life in Costa Rica for conservation efforts in that area.
Have you ever heard a turtle sneeze?
I have.
Aww.
You know,
The turtle has a plastic straw lodged in its nose. Removing the plastic is a painful process for the turtle.
How useless freaking straws are. So another
you
reason.
want a video for...
I'm filming the whole time, by the way.
I mean, you want an explanation for people to why we don't need straws anymore?
Yes, that's what I exactly think about. So this is the reason why we do not need plastic straws.
The turtle is having a difficult time breathing from the foreign artifact being lodged in its nose.
He bit on it and he said it's plastic.
Yeah.
It's a freaking straw up her freaking nostril.
That's plastic.
The plastic straw is removed and the turtle is able to breathe again and will be released back into the ocean. This machine is producing polyethylene for plastic bags that'll be used for consumers in grocery stores. Plastics like this are characterized by high or low density, with high density sinking in water and low density floating. These bags are going to be low density, and they will degrade and fragment more easily. Every year, approximately 270 billion kilograms of plastics are produced for consumer and industrial uses. They come in a variety of subpolymer units, and these units determine their use and application. Plastics are highly valued because of their malleability, lightweight, and resistance to decay. Because of the miraculous properties plastics possess, recycling them can be quite difficult. The process is highly mechanical, involving the fragmenting of the waste products and then thermochemically repurposing the plastics. This produces many other waste products which have to be dealt with. And the process itself is very rarely profitable and does not answer many of the bigger problems. More frightening, of the 270 billion kilograms of plastics produced every year, only 14% of them end up in a landfill.
Yeah, the stomach is very, very full, and if we look here, there's some very dark pieces, some very light white pieces, and if you see, as I push on this, it's absolutely rigid, completely full of plastic all the way up.
Oh, look at that.
Absolutely no doubt that this bird died as a result of that plastic. That is literally a gut full of plastic. It's quite alarming, isn't it?
Oh, that's awful.
Range of plastic types and colours. We've got everything from the blues and the reds
His
to the
stomach's just filled with it. Big pieces too.
big
Like
sharp
heavy.
pieces.
As plastics enter marine and terrestrial ecosystems, mechanical forces act on the waste to fragment the material into smaller and smaller fragments. These fragments can then be ingested by filter feeders and move up the food chain. Bivalves have become a model organism for studying the effects of polymers on the physiology of living organisms. The filter feeders have a long lifespan if they're not eaten, and a high reproductive rate. They use their gills to filter feed and eat phytoplankton, along with microfragments of plastics and other plasticizers which have entered the ocean and waterways. Studies of bivalves cultured for human consumption have been shown to have 66 particles per 5-meter diameter of tissue removed, and even at 20 days in a clean water system, 5 parts per 5-millimeter diameter of tissue removed. Other studies have shown that bivalves have 0.36 particles per gram of tissue, and atrophic movement has been estimated at 2% of the polyethylene absorbed by the bivalves when studied in crabs. Plasticizers are plastic additives used to add color or opacity to plastics. Other plasticizers are used to alter any of the other properties of plastics like durability or flexibility. Titanium dioxide is a plasticizer used in more than just plastics. It is also the tint for making paint white. Naturally, polyethylene bags are transparent, but by adding titanium dioxide, it adds opacity and a white color. Titanium dioxide has been shown to inhibit the TLR operon gene in bivalves, which is the signal protein for identifying pathogens. Retardation of this gene impairs immune response. Further, it lowers the hepatocyte counts and slows growth and lowers the overall weight in the bivalves tested. How many plasticizers do you think were used in the plastic items shown on the screen now? Japanese researchers have isolated a bacterium that is able to eat plastic bottles, polyester, and food containers. Idonella sacchensis is the species. The digestion requires about 6 weeks, and while this does hold high praise for recycling, these results were only obtained in a laboratory setting where plastic was the only food source available. But this does show nature's ability to react to new substances being introduced. Further, it has been asked what would happen if these bacterium became prevalent to the point that the use of plastics would no longer even be practical. After watching all these images and learning this information, you're probably wondering what you can do. The answer is not as complicated as you might think, and it all begins with you, the consumer. Avoid using single-use plastic items. Opt instead to using reusable vessels and containers. Hemp, cloth, and many other textiles have long usable lifespans, biodegrade easily, and have a far lower ecological impact on the environment than plastics. Instead of using high-density plastics for everyday objects, revert instead to the metal and wood analogs. Metals can be fairly easy to recycle, and the objects made from metal and wood are usually more durable and last longer than their plastic counterparts. If you would like to help spread awareness, you can donate at the link on the screen. Thank you.